Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are joining from. Welcome back to another round of whatever this live stream is. It's always something new and interesting. We will see what we've got going on today, but good to see a bunch of familiar faces in the chat, and I see a few new faces as well. That is always wonderful. Thank you all for joining. As always, we are here to answer your questions about live streaming, the ATEM Mini, the other video gear, cameras, whatever you want to talk about. I am here to just help you, and I've got a few updates of my own to share as well, so we will get to those momentarily. If you do have a question for me, make sure you please do either mention my name, Aaron Parecki, or mention the word question at the beginning of your message, and that makes it pop up on my screen nicely, and then I can show it on the stream as well. I see speaking of, first question from Roland. Can you develop a clip for the bottom right with a cap to cover the fade to black button so that you can't accidentally press it? You know, we were just talking about this the other day. In fact, let me show you what this is about in case you're not familiar with this problem. But the stand has this little place here for putting the clip that normally holds the extreme down in place, and the new stand for the ATEM Mini does as well for the small one. And there is a perfect opportunity to put a little sort of like extend the clip over the button. Let me see if I have one of those lying around. I do. Actually, I don't know if this is the right one. This might be for the other stand. Close enough. You get the idea. So it goes right there, and you know, we were just talking about, like, what if we just extended that out over the button to cover up the fade to black button? Because honestly, who needs that button? I think I have never intended to press it ever. I have only accidentally pressed it, as I'm sure many of you have as well. Yeah, so we'll see. That's a good idea. I like it. But if you do want to see that, do let me know, because the more people that express interest in those kinds of accessories, the more likely it is that we will actually go and make them happen. I see a couple others. Yeah, cool. Oh, I see a new guest on the stream. Good to see you here. This is Little Bunny's Workshop, 8 years old. My dad loves your live streams. Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. That's great. Thank you for joining. Oh, Rick says, love my new Hyperdeck Studio HD Plus, even though, as you said, it is still picky with the file format. Yeah. It is the same deal as the original Hyperdecks, where you have to, it'll only play back certain kinds of clips, and then all the ones on the card have to match as well. So you can't mix and match frame rates or things like that on a single SD card, because it expects you to be in one video mode, which makes sense because it's outputting a signal over its SDI port, and that signal has to be in some standard, some frame rate. So it would be awkward if that output were changing frame rates all the time based on what clip was playing, or the alternative would be there's some magic in the device that's sort of scaling it on the way out, which I don't actually know if I would want, because then it becomes more stuff to manage. But it does mean that you have to be aware of all of the frame rates you're putting onto the clips as you're loading them into the Hyperdeck, which is just how it works. The one feature that I am excited about that isn't out yet, that Grant mentioned, or it's not out for the small ones, it's only in like the top tier one, is the ability to encode H.264 files on a computer. That's a lot more compressed, so you can record like hour-long things and not have it take up tens or hundreds of gigabytes, and play those back on the Hyperdeck. And right now, you can only record stuff, or you can only encode stuff in the ProRes formats that you can play back on the Hyperdeck. It can only play back its own H.264, so that's changing soon. And I will appreciate that, because that means you can actually do things like record a very long Zoom meeting or other sort of training session or something that you want it to be like hours long, and you can then play it back on the Hyperdeck. So that'll be cool. I do look forward to that coming to all of the models of the Hyperdecks. Speaking of the Hyperdecks, since we're on this topic, let's see if there's any other Hyperdeck comments. Oh yes, here's one. Can the Hyperdeck record and play at the same time? No, it cannot. It is one or the other. It can be in either record mode or playback mode. So I'm actually trying something today, which I haven't done before, which is recording this live stream on a Hyperdeck. And we may have some time to experiment. The reason I want to do this is to test something. So I was curious to test out a instant replay workflow. We'll see if I'm feeling up for that once I get some more questions out of the way. But this is the Hyperdeck now recording this show. This one's just me playing a test clip. It's just on a loop. But this one is recording the program, and if I wanted to play this back for like an instant replay, for example, then I would have to stop it recording. So, you know, it's not a great solution for that because then I lose my program recording, obviously. But if I was treating this as just a recorder for instant replay purposes, I think it could work. So maybe I will try that in a bit. But yeah, this is recording the output from my from the web presenter. Actually, this is just looped into that basically, and this is the web presenter that's streaming to YouTube, and then this is the one recording the output of this. So this is everything, including the chat messages. So you know, if I show a chat on the screen, you'll see it pop up there. Any other Hyperdeck questions? Let's see. We've got, oh yeah, it isn't awkward for iMix to switch frame rates formats for different video clips into the ATEM. Yes, but on an iPad, the iPad is outputting a consistent frame rate out, and it's converting the clips as they're being played back, which is very, very different from the way the Hyperdeck works, where the Hyperdeck is taking whatever's on the card and setting its output frame rate to that. And yeah, they could build in a scaler the way that the ATEM Minis have a scaler on the inputs. They could add that to the output. But I'm not actually sure that makes sense for the way those work. You would have to, I guess you have to add a menu option in the Hyperdeck that would say, this is the frame rate out I want. And you would have to choose that. Otherwise, you don't even know what would be happening. And then you would end up with if you're playing back a 24 frame per second clip at 30, you end up with the doubled up frames, which I guess is how that works, but it would work. We'll see. I don't know. It's just, they just don't work that way. And I think that's the intent. I think it's not a bug. I think that is Blackmagic's intention. All right, any other Hyperdeck questions? No. Okay, let's move on to I see some Speedify questions. How many max network connections can we bond in Speedify? And there was another one earlier, but I lost it. I haven't tested a limit. I've done a couple of Speedify tests though. After last week, after Frank was in the chat, Frank from YOLObox was in the chat and mentioned installing Speedify on the YOLObox. I went and tried it, and it does work, surprisingly. It is, I will say there's a couple of tricky caveats to make that work well, but it does work. And it is, I don't think it's officially supported by YOLObox because you have to kind of like break out of their app and go back into the Android shell. It does work. And I was able to bond my Wi-Fi from my Wi-Fi and Ethernet on the YOLObox within it and then stream over that. So that's kind of cool. Oh, I see a comment from Joe. Speedify has a tutorial using 25 cell signals. Okay, that's impressive. That is a lot. I don't think I would ever have 25 cell signals because that's a lot of cell phone plans to buy. Did the new Hyperdeck have any issues with the ATEM finding the IP? Oh, that's a good question. This is a good one because one of the problems I've had with the original Hyperdeck is the ATEM kind of forgets about it. Although I think it might be, I don't know whose fault it is, whether it's the ATEM or the Hyperdeck's fault, but it kind of just loses that connection. And I haven't actually tried like any rigorous testing on the new ones in that connection yet, because I've actually I haven't set up my Hyperdecks to be playing back graphics triggered by the ATEM. So I've only been using them for like, when I'm recording the stream, I don't need the ATEM to talk to it. And this other one is just playing a clip on a loop. The one down here is just playing back myself staring at the camera on like a 20-second loop. It's gonna loop around, 20 seconds. And I don't need that to be triggered by the ATEM. So I haven't done that yet. That's a good question. I will try to remember to actually try that out because I really hope that's been fixed. And if so, then I might have to switch over my my Hyperdeck player that's doing the Stinger graphics to the other one so that it works better. Yeah. I've had a couple of times is that the new one, Rick, or is that the original one? But yeah, the weird thing that's happening on mine, I've talked about this before. If you just search through my old streams, there was one point I actually showed this where like the Hyperdeck forgot how networking works, and the IP address that I had set, it just like changed it randomly, and the gateway was all wrong. It was just a mess. So I haven't had any issues with the new ones, but I haven't spent that long with them yet. Lost its IP connection on the new Hyperdeck. Okay, so hopefully they can fix that soon. Okay, let's see. What else can we get to before I start giving some more updates? Modify the corner hole covered at the button. Yep. Rick would buy it over the FTB clip. Cool. I like that. I like that idea. Oh, Gramps says I've had problems with my Extreme vanishing from the network. My laptop and companion couldn't see it, although it was still streaming. That is super bizarre. I haven't had that one happen yet. That's no good though. Is there an open source alternative to Speedify? Spotify. I haven't seen one, but it's very. You can do it with a bunch of Linux networking tricks. The benefit of Speedify is that you don't have to know anything about networking to make it work. Like that's really what Speedify is doing. So like you can definitely bond connections in a Linux computer using all open source tools. You're just not going to get like an app to install where you just kind of like click buttons and it just works. So I think that's really the benefit of Speedify. Oh, what about the fan noise from the Hyperdeck? I will say very good news about this, which is that the new Hyperdecks are extremely quiet. They are no longer using the extremely loud fan that the original Hyperdeck has. So I have not had to open mine up and replace the fans, thankfully. There's definitely a fan in them. I won't say they're silent, but they are no louder than anything else I've got on the desk now. So thankfully, Blackmagic is finally putting in quiet fans into that gear. So that is really good news. Graham says, I think we may have had too many connections to the API. Yeah, that is one of the limits, is you only get 5 things able to talk to the ATEM, and then it'll just sort of stop working. Is the new Hyperdeck worth the upgrade if we were to compare them dollar to dollar? So the Hyperdeck, this is where the product line gets really confusing because the names and okay, so here's the lineup. This is the new lineup of Hyperdecks, right? We've got the Hyperdeck Studio HD Mini, which is the small one that looks, it's this one on top, and it looks, I think exactly, it is, I'm just looking at it. They changed the button. This used to say jog, now it says search. But other than that, it looks exactly the same as the original Hyperdeck Mini, Hyperdeck Studio Mini. And that this is now $100 cheaper than the Hyperdeck Studio Mini was. So that's really cool. It did lose the 4K ability that the Hyperdeck Studio Mini has, but it only did 4K 30. It didn't do 4K 60. So the it is upgrade in some ways and a downgrade in others. I would say if your original Hyperdeck Studio Mini is working, you do not need to upgrade to this because you don't gain a ton. But if you're buying something new, I probably would buy this one because it's $100 cheaper. And yeah, it's great. So as long as you don't need the 4K support. The HD Plus, that half rack one, that one does add the 4K support back up to 30 frames per second. So, but yeah, I don't know if I would say you need to upgrade to these, but if you're going to buy something new, definitely buy the new ones. I don't think there's any reason to buy the old ones at this point. Joe says, wait until you get a studio camera 4K Pro, you'll be doing fan surgery again. I don't know if I don't think those are the right cameras for this studio because the main feature of those cameras is the nice big screen on the back with all the knobs and stuff, and they're great for that, but I don't need that because I'm always on this side of the camera, not the other side of the camera. So I don't think I'm going to be getting those. They just don't make sense for me using them in the studio. If I ever built out a studio where I would have other people in the studio, or if I am ever going to be going and filming things outside in the real world again, then I would definitely consider it. But I don't think it's the right camera for this studio. I'm pretty happy with the Lumix G7s I'm using right now and the Pocket 4K, which is the one on the table over there. Can you extend the top bar on the stand so that it also comes over the Stream Deck? Then 2 screens can be mounted on it. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. This is the camera's not quite in the right spot for this. The top bar right now does not go, it just ends there, right? Because it's not part of it's just part of that stand. Extending it out over here would be interesting, but I don't know, that's a whole thing. Because it's definitely it's going to need more support on that side. I don't know. For now, I'm pretty happy with the lineup that we've got of the stands, and it's quite a bit of work to make new ones and launch them and actually get them out there. Speaking of, oh yes, thank you. It's worth mentioning that the new basic Hyperdeck does not have the dual SDI out. That is correct. It is just for recording and playing back. A single channel does not have the dual SDI out that the original Hyperdeck has. You have to go up to the Plus model to get the dual SDI out, which is what you use for doing graphics like I'm using for the chat right now. Okay, but speaking of the stands, I do want to mention that again because we have 3 days left of the pre-order period for the stands. And let me drop this link in the chat. So we are very, very close to actually shipping these out. The pre-order period ends on the 15th. So the main reason to get your order in now during the pre-order period is because you will get a custom nameplate, your text on the nameplate for no charge, thanks to YOLO Live sponsoring this. And this is, pre-order period is ending September 15th. So we are, we have the purchase links for all the different stores here. So those are still where you're going to place your pre-orders. And anybody that has ordered one right now is, it's first come, first serve. So as we start fulfilling orders shipping out on the 15th, it'll be the first one shipping until all the orders through now. And the custom faceplates, I made this little tool where I can drop this link in the chat too. This little website is how you can see what it's going to look like. It's a fun little preview your text on the stand. This is for the Pro, the new Mark II Pro stand, and you can get up to 10 letters, and then it stops letting you type because 10 letters is basically all it'll fit. If it does look like it's going to spill out, don't worry about it, because it won't actually spill out and hit the screws. This is just a preview, and again, this is not perfect, but we will make sure it looks correct when it arrives. Will we ever be able to get just the custom faceplate? So we do in fact have the custom nameplates available as of now for the Extreme stand. So here is custom faceplates for the Extreme. That link is in the chat. And this is, again, you can see what it looks like on the Extreme stand. So they're about the same size, so it's still 10 letters. And you can, with this one, we actually are shipping it in a couple of different colors. So you can see what it looks like with white plate with black letters, or if you want red letters, you can get a red plate with white text. I think that one's cool. I don't think this one looks that great. Depends on how you're lighting it. Sometimes the black is a little bit hard to see on the red, but the black with the red with the white letters looks fantastic. Or if you want a white plate with black letters. So got all the combos. And yeah, those are available actually right now. So we have 3 different regions that they're shipping from. The links are all on this page, and those will be shipping as soon as you order them. Will we be doing the custom plates for the Pro? Yeah, probably. We will be able to order those separately, but again, right now they're free if you buy the stand. So, and there is no spot to attach the custom faceplate on the original stand. So if you do want the custom faceplate for the Mark II, then you do need to get the new stand. Will we ship to India? Absolutely. I would say double check the shipping costs on the Europe and the Australia websites. It might be cheaper from Australia, so try that store. I think that's going to be the best one. If only they had Tech Condo purple. I know I wanted to get more colors in there, but there are some interesting constraints on the kinds of materials we can use for those. So no purple, unfortunately. Can we get custom nameplates for existing Extreme stands? Yep, that's what we just covered. What do you think about a contest to share our photos for the new Mark II? I love it. I love that idea. Absolutely. I will definitely make that happen. I do need to figure out what to give away as a prize for people who already have the Mark II, because it doesn't make sense to give you another one. So I'll have to figure out what would be a good prize for that contest, but that does sound like a lot of fun. And I would love to see all those pictures. I've seen a couple of them on Instagram already, and it is great. It's wonderful. I mean, you didn't have a custom color available to match your jacket. the sparkly pink with sequins. I can just glue sequins on mine, and then it'll match. LED lit custom nameplates would be awesome. I agree. There's just no room for cramming all that stuff in there. I don't know. It would be fun, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Plus, then I have to ship wires, which sounds complicated. You created a monster with all of your 3D printed options. I really did. So okay, let me just show you this again, because I didn't really realize how out of control this had gotten. When you see all of the different combinations of the products all lined up, I just posted this on Instagram the other day. The photo, I posted this photo of all of the different combinations. So it's the Extreme stand with the left hand XL, Stream Deck XL, and the right hand 15 button Stream Deck. It's the Extreme stand with the XL on the right, 15 button on the left. Then it's the two Mark IIs with, again, both right and left of both. There's actually this new one down here too, which is like a super cheap one. And it is for the ATEM, no accessories on it. It's for just lifting it. It does match the angle of this one, so if you put them side by side, they'll match. But it's sort of like a super slimmed down version just to beat the stand. That was a fun photo to take. I actually have everything still set up from that photo shoot on the table over here. This is that's actually that's a live camera. I'm not in the shot, but that's my desk of the mess of the photo shoot of that. It was it was a fun photo to put together. I don't have that many ATEMs, so what I did was I did actually print all of the stands. So those are all real stands. That's why there's so many in this overhead shot. But then I moved the ATEM and the stream decks onto each one and then overlaid all the pictures together to make that happen, which was it was a project. Let me just say that. You should have taken the picture of having two ATEMs side by side and stream decks on the side. Oh my god. I need to just get it to be super, super long. Yeah. Share your photos on Instagram with AaronPKTV, sure. Or the other hashtag to use is the did I put it in my? I didn't even put it in my own post. Shame on me. The PK1 stand. So that one, there are a few posts on Instagram actually of that. Let's see, yeah. Here's the PK1 stand hashtag. So definitely post photos on Instagram with that tag. It's some of the other brands posting, but I know there was a couple of gear photos from other people. Here we go. Yeah, I love seeing these. So yeah, definitely post your photos. Doesn't have to be Instagram. Post them on Twitter or whatever. Flickr. Anybody still post on Flickr? I still have a Flickr account. I still pay for Flickr actually. Is it possible to mount your stands on the tripod leg? I do not recommend mounting the stand itself on the tripod leg. However, we do have a extra strong base bracket for it. Let me just find that. There is an extra thing you can add to the bottom. Where is it? Here it is. The aluminum base. And what this does is it means that you end up with this extra aluminum rail as like this H shape. And then you can attach a tripod thing to the middle of that, and that will be super strong. But the stand by itself has the bottom pieces are really just to keep the sides from like splaying out or in, I guess. They're not like, they can't support any weight this direction. So that's why if you get this extra base, then you can attach that to a tripod. Or anything else really at that point. The aluminum base is great. I'm glad. Thank you. Ooh, transparent nameplates can be custom color with some color paper in the back. That's an interesting one. Yeah. The transparent, the printing process for transparent, it doesn't end up being as transparent as you might think of like plexiglass. It ends up being a lot more like frosted, which could work for the paper background too. But there's some challenges with that because of the way we do the inserts of the text. So not totally sure, but that's an interesting idea. I enjoy watching live shows and seeing comments from other YouTube channels I watch. That's great. Yeah. Okay, cool. Any other questions here? Any other questions coming in about this? Yeah, transparent is not transparent. It ends up being really a lot more frosted. I did actually print a stand in transparent once because I ran out of black filament and I needed to do another test print. This was like early on in the process. And I did print one out for the whole stand in transparent, and I was like disappointed at how not transparent it was. Aluminum extension for the Stream Deck. I believe that is in the works, if I remember our last conversation correctly. I believe that is in the works, but it's not on the websites yet. TechConda says, I just finished up my second demo desk with all of my ATEM stands. It's full length. I have a PK1 stand problem. Wonderful. Oh, okay. It's coming next week. Great. That's the extension for the Stream Deck. The aluminum bracket for the Stream Deck. Fantastic. So yeah, that's the deal. If you haven't yet got your pre-order in, it is not too late to get the custom faceplate for free, only for the next few days. So, and again, that is all, it's coming for free thanks to YOLOLIVE sponsoring that deal. So everybody say thank you YOLOLIVE in the chat for that, because yeah, super thanks to them for making that happen. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have even done the custom faceplates at all. All right. Let's switch gears and let's talk about some follow-ups from last week. So last week we've had a couple of questions. One was, can we show timecode on ATEM streams? And that was a great question, and I did not have any really good answer, but somebody whipped this up really quick. So check this out. ATEM timecode overlay. This is still very, very beta, but the project is on GitHub, and you can install it on a Raspberry Pi or on your computer or whatever you want. And it basically just creates a web page for the rest is just instructions. So here, I'll show you what it actually looks like. This is what it does. It creates a web page, and it is showing you the time code that's in the ATEM. So if I go over to my ATEM software, this is the correct one. Let me just double check. I don't have the streaming key visible. Great. So if I do, yeah, if I show you the timecode generator in the ATEM over here, this is what is being displayed on the web page. And the too many browsers open. Here we go. The web page is showing this timecode up here. It is matching this. Obviously, it's not moving quite as fast because it is trying to actually send 30 messages per second to the web browser. So it's skipping a couple, but it does match it, right? So what you can do with this is capture it in OBS and do an overlay that way, or any other way you want to do it. If you want to customize what it looks like, you do have to edit CSS right now. Like, this is not a polished product, but it is a proof of concept, and it is very cool. So if I go over to my OBS that's doing the graphics, if I turn this layer on, you will see the timecode appear up in the corner. So that is now OBS loaded this web page, and it is now displaying the timecode itself over my key fill, and then it's going into my TV studio to be overlaid on the stream, just like the chat. And I think that's pretty cool. So thanks for throwing that together after our stream last week. That was a very cool little quick project to show. But yeah, the link is in the chat for that, and it'll be in the video description. It is a very cool little project. And that was by Justin Wilkin. Speaking of finding things in the chat, another thing that I did since last week was I finally put together a new web page, which is, let me drop this. This is, let's see, what am I going to call it? Search all the questions answered in my live streams. So yeah, check this out. So I am super excited about this. This is one of the reasons I've been slowly moving to this sort of new way I've been managing the chat system. So if you click on any of these videos, I'm not going to do the one that's currently live, but I'll go to last week's, for example. Basically what this is every time I've shown a comment on the stream, it's now in this list and it's timestamped. So you can go find a stream from a week, scroll through all the different questions I've answered, and then if you find one you want to go watch the video from, then you can click on it, and let's just click on this one. It'll jump you right to that timestamp, right where the comment appears, and then you can actually see the answer, which is pretty cool, I think. And I've been logging what I needed in order to make that work since August 1st. So this works all the way back to the streams from August. Anyway, I'm very excited about this, mainly because it makes the content in these live streams a lot more useful to a lot more people. And like here's the one here's actually from today. It's I don't know if these timestamps work right now, but they will be correct after the stream is done. Anyway, these are, and yeah, the date is not updated yet because the stream is still active. But yeah, for these ones, from the ones in the past, these are all now a giant library of questions. And I guess I'm going to need to make a page to sort of search across all these too. So I'll have to make a new view on this, which is like searching my chapters titles of all the live streams, so that you can search for like Hyperdeck, and then all the Hyperdeck chapters show up across. This goes back through pretty much when I started doing live streams. So you can go all the way back to June 2020, which was only a couple months after I started streaming. So this is searching the chapter titles. If I actually go and timestamp and like put a chapter marker in, that's what that is searching. And then this one is just sort of everything of, if I click on a message, it'll show up in this list. Oh, Techondo, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Question repository is awesome. Very exciting. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is, I am super excited about this. And I hope that I'm going to continue to improve the actual interface and make it so that it's, you know, maybe it looks a little bit better than that webpage. It's a little bit bare bones right now, but it gets the job done. And I'll make it so that you can search that whole database and all that. The encyclopedia of video production. I hope so. That's a massive improvement for people searching for solutions. I love it. Yeah, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to try to keep improving that interface, make it work so that it's easier to find things that I've talked about on the stream. The most prestigious university of ATEM. I think Blackmagic may not like it if I tried to call something University of ATEM. Although, isn't that like some sort of goddess in some mythology? So maybe I'll just say, yeah, that's what I'm referring to, not your trademark. Logging answers is very cool. So all these are now going to show up in those timestamps too. Jim says, loving the different color combinations available with the faceplates. Awesome. I'm very glad. Taking YouTube and making it more like Wikipedia. Yeah, I think, you know, I enjoy live content, but I also like being able to search through video content in a way that's easier than watching back that many hours of videos, because I'm not going to go back and rewatch one-year-old live streams of mine trying to figure out when I mentioned a certain thing. But if I had a way to like search through the questions that I clicked on, that would be a lot easier. So looking forward to that library just continuing to grow and grow and grow. Also, I love that it's entirely automated, so I don't have to like do anything now to make that work. So I personally, I'm just always about like, how much can I reduce the amount of stuff I have to do in order to make this content happen? Because just doing the timestamps alone is quite a chunk of work. So yeah, cool. Is the logging system available to purchase? No, not right now. This is very homegrown, shall we say? It is hacked together. It is not something I've packaged up for people. I would love to do that, but it adds a significant amount of work to do that. So we'll see. Oh, thank you, Hardy Media. Must see TV. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. My job is creating more ways to do less work. Yeah, I like it. You should offer to sell your chat search to YouTube Instant Millionaire. Hey, if they want to talk to me about that, I will happily talk to them about it. But also, they can probably just build it themselves if they really wanted to, because honestly, it's not that challenging technically, especially if you are YouTube. Yeah. So, what... where were we? Can you tell us the software that you use on the Raspberry Pi? Yes, it is Companion. It is Companion. That is what I'm using, for example, for this. These are all buttons created in Companion. Whoa, bump that camera. Looks out of focus. This is the poor little Sony RX0, which does not have any autofocus to speak of, but it does focus if you hold down the shutter button halfway. Yeah, these are my companion buttons, and that is how I am controlling the show. For example, hiding the chat message. Is Video.Ninja reliable for high quality guest interview, and is it required to open ports like SRT? Good questions. I do think it is reliable for a good quality guest interview. I've had very good luck with it. It has been very stable, and yeah, I've been very happy with it. And you do not need to open ports, so that is a super cool thing of it. It uses very fancy tricks to make it so that you don't need to open any ports in your firewall. It is not at all like SRT, where you have to let something through your firewall via port forwarding. It does it all kind of automatically. And yeah, it's a great option for that. It also means that your guests can join from a browser where they don't need to have like a dedicated encoder box, because the browser does that. Oh, Ali says, SRT doesn't require opening ports. Rendezvous mode is amazing. Both ends basically act in caller mode and shout at each other. I love that description. Thank you for correcting me. I did not know SRT has something like rendezvous mode. That's cool. I've never tried that before. One of my favorite but least well documented SRT features. Well, it explains why I didn't know about it. Cool. Yeah, I've never experimented with that, but that sounds very useful. Okay. Do you know if the content from second camera zoom sharing feature is an option for higher resolution without a business account? Oh, is that the where you're sharing, instead of screen sharing, you're like using a webcam in as your screen share? I don't know if that actually gives you higher resolution. That is an excellent thought, though. I would say it's worth an experiment. Any space below the companion stand for attaching the Raspberry Pi? There is space for one. It does not have any mounts for it, so there's plenty of room under here, like you can see. Do I have a Raspberry Pi? No, but this is about the same size as the Raspberry Pi. There's definitely room under there for it. I guess probably that way, but there's no like mounts for it to elegantly sit down there. If I don't take that out, I'm going to forget where that is. I better get rid of that now. Batteries for my ZV-1, because they don't last very long. Cool. Raspberry Pi stand might be a useful product. Well, funny you should mention that, because I happen to know somebody who has lots of Raspberry Pi stands available. The people who print my stands also make Raspberry Pi stands. And get rid of the cookie banner. They make all sorts of different kinds. A lot of them are for attaching like SSDs to your Raspberry Pi also, but tons of options here on these little rails. So yeah, tons of different kinds. Oh, that's actual Pis. These ones. These are the different case options that they have available. I definitely do think it would be cool to work on a stand for under the Stream Deck. So definitely going to be more thinking through about which way the cables should go and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, JT is awake. JT is the one printing the stands in Australia. 4 a.m. I'm thinking about doing a cluster of Raspberry Pis, one for Companion, one for Speedify, and 2 for PlayOutB. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, totally. I would say you can probably get away with PlayOutB and Companion on the same one because Companion doesn't require anything having to do with video. And Companion does take some CPU, but I think there's enough in the Raspberry Pi 4 to do both. I have mine doing the Companion, and it's the streaming bridge equivalent clone. I don't know what to call it. The RTMP server that can output the RTMP feed over HDMI. So I've used that when I'm pushing a video feed into my studio remotely, like from a YOLO box or from the Mevo. That was the camera. I just blanked on the name. And when I've done those streams, then I have done it where it is, it's the same Raspberry Pi doing Companion as it is being that server, and it's been fine. Would a fan be necessary under the stand for the extreme ISO? You know, I honestly don't think you need to add additional cooling to these unless, like, I'm just feeling underneath mine. It's warm, but it's not hot. I don't think adding a fan's gonna really do anything to it. It's already got fans inside of it, and it's blowing the air through the hot parts of the gear, like sideways, like you want it to. So personally, I don't think you need to continue to blow air on it. Which cheap emulator can I use to match camera frame rates on the television studio? Yeah, I had this problem today, in fact, because I was like, oh, I should plug in an extra camera, and I ran out of inputs on my ATEM, and then I was like, oh, I could put it in the TV studio, and then realized that my camera only does 60 frames per second and not 30, so it didn't work. And as far as cheap, I don't know. The solid one that will always work is that Decimator MD-HX. Oh, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I don't see any text there. Decimator MD-HX. It is this one. Link is in the chat. The little red box with all the SDIs and HDMIs. It does. You can convert SDI to HDMI. You can convert and scale. You can just scale SDI around itself, HDMI itself. It has all the different combos of things. It is super, super, super solid. It is a fantastic device. However, it is not what I would call cheap. It is $300. So it is, but it's absolutely worth it. It's like, it's great to just have one of these around because you never know when you're going to need to throw random signals on a screen somewhere. I have one actually on the computer monitor behind me because that computer monitor does not support anything except like 60 frames a second. You cannot throw other frame rates at it. It was a super cheap monitor, and now I kind of regret it getting it for that reason. So I have one of those back there so that I can throw different feeds onto that screen. Kind of annoying, but it works. Turning Point Communications says, the stream with your 4 friends was interesting. I've watched 45 minutes. Who is switching? A little detail, please. Yeah, we may do an actual like behind the scenes overview of that, but the short version was the 4 of us, and actually let me go and just find that video so that you can all see what I'm talking about. This was the, what was it called? Future of the ATEM live stream. So this was the stream from, gosh, it was just yesterday. And there were 5 of us on that. And this was, the 5 of us were joining, we were all pushing SRT feeds. So we were all pushing SRT up to the cloud, and the cloud was doing that mixing. I think they were using vMix for it, but there was basically a whole separate crew managing all of that. So all 5 of us in this were just guests or hosts, contributors, talent. I don't know what you want to call us. We were all just on the stream. So none of us were doing any of the switching or control of the show. And we were all on a Zoom call to hear each other because all the SRT feeds were delayed like 5 seconds or so. And we were on a Zoom call with one person from the control team. And he was talking, I don't actually know what he was using to talk to the rest of the team, but I think they were on like a separate Zoom call also or something. Anyway, I didn't see any of that because I was just in a Zoom call with these people and one sort of invisible person. And it was interesting to sort of just be on screen talking and not also doing all of the switching and control that I normally do. And all of us were in that boat. So it was really interesting actually having a real crew behind it. It was fun. It was a good stream. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it already. We just talked about what we think is coming down the road for ATEMs, what we want out of ATEMs. It was a blast. Thanks, Graham. I definitely define you all as talent. Very talented. Knock Knock, who's there? Studio tour. It is coming. It is coming. I'm not going to promise any particular date because that always backfires. It is coming. I did film it. I decided that I want to do studio tour not live this time. I want to do slightly higher production value than the live tours I've done in the past. But also, I do not have the time or even really the skill to do what I actually want to do, which is like, you know, super nice B-roll shots and everything is super well lit and all the slow-mo B-roll and stuff, whatever. I don't have that in me to do it for the studio tour. So what I'm doing is like one step up from a live stream. So when I did the filming, I walked around as if I were live talking about everything, and then I'm going to cut that up, take out like the dead spots, and add a little bit of better close-ups in some places because some of the corners of this are very dark. So like I went around to the back and I don't have good lighting there normally, so I brought some lighting and shot some B-roll there. It'll be fun. I will say it is a little different than the last time I did a tour, but not like dramatically. So the last time I did a tour was, well, we can find out because I can search through my timestamps. It was March, right? It was March I did the last full tour, and yeah, things are different. Things are different from this. So this was, I mean, my desk still looks similar. Oh, I didn't have the stand for the Extreme at that point because I hadn't even launched the first one by then. And, but I've got the same gear in that rack. I do have my sort of secondary rack now of all of this stuff, which really needs a better home than there. But I think in here I went and showed, yeah, my pile of converters. I showed my sound panels. So a lot of this is the same as before, but it's still worth it to do an updated version. Looking forward to the tour. Worth waiting. I hope so. Yeah. That must have felt like a vacation to participate fully and not also produce the one-man band style show. Yeah, it was very different experience. I haven't done that I haven't done it about video production stuff much before. I do plenty of just being a guest on other people's shows when we're not talking about video gear, but yeah, it was fun. I have a stack of 8 up-down cross converters for my TV Studio HD. At work, we fried an MD-HX. That's surprising. That is very surprising. Zoom interacted with SRT feeds sent with 5-second delay using various SRT methods. Oh yeah. That was, so we were all contributing SRT feeds, but I think we were all using different kinds of things. So I was using the Epiphan Nano, Pearl Nano. I think somebody else may have been using that too, but then we had other people using just other random gear that can all just output SRT feeds, which was kind of fun. But yeah, mine was the Epiphan Pearl Nano. So I just fed I actually just like took one of the ports in my matrix, fed the Pearl Nano with an SDI input from my normal setup here. So everything that I've got here was I was running my camera the same way. I don't think I ever did actually cut to any other camera angles on the stream, but I could have. Like I don't know why it never came up, but I was expecting to like show my desk like this, or show a close-up of other gear here, and switch to like the overhead shot to show off the pile of stands. But I think I only ended up just using my one camera, so it was like the most overkill way of getting one camera into a feed, because it was running through all of this whole pipe. Oh, Ali says 3 of us were Pearl Nanos in the end. Okay, yep. I watched the episode of You I Hate to Record and changed my mind in my decision to purchase the streaming bridge after knowing the struggling for connecting far places. Oh yeah, that was what was it? Like last week or the week before on Here to Record, they did a stream talking about what would have been talking about using the streaming bridge to bring the 3 of them in, but it had some issues with getting the signal across from Australia to Europe and elsewhere, and yeah, it was a bummer that didn't actually end up working. So I don't remember the exact details of it. I don't even remember if they talked about the exact details in that stream, but go check that out if you are curious. How long before you upgrade to a larger matrix? Gosh, I know. The problem is it is very, very expensive upgrade. So, and I already spent quite a lot on this matrix for 20 inputs, and I am finding myself wanting more because I have more things to plug in. And as I'm trying out more gear, then as I'm testing out more gear and adding more things to the kits, I just need more and more inputs. So I'm like, what's the next step? Is it the next Blackmagic one, which is the 40 input, which is definitely a rocket ship in terms of fan noise, which means I'm going to have to solve that somehow? Or do I go to the, how do you say their name? Aja? AJA? I don't actually know, but they have their own, these look like they're not super deep too, which is kind of appealing. And then they've got a 32 and a 64. The 64 looks outrageously large. And I mean, I would love 64 inputs on mine, but like, also, I don't know how thrilled I am at the idea of spending $9,000. It's a lot of dollars. So, also I heard you can't actually get them right now. I think they don't even have the parts to make these right now, but I'm sure they're solid, but that's a lot of dollars. It just hurts my head to spend that much. So we will see. We will see. The insets from the websites were very slick with a separate operator. It just shows how good it is to have somebody not actually on screen. I agree. I'm doing my own website inserts right now, for example, as I talk about things, but it means that you are seeing my eyes dart around as I am loading up different web pages. And then that's very different than if somebody else were following what I'm saying and finding links and showing them on the screen and cutting to them. It's very cool. I agree. That was very nice to have that as an illustration. I will say that because we were all on 5-second delays pushing, our feeds were 5 seconds delayed going into what was being mixed, and the the stream on YouTube was even more delayed. I don't think it was in the ultra low latency mode. So we didn't, as talent, we never actually had a view of what the actual stream was. I had the YouTube window up, but it was so far delayed that it wasn't actually very helpful. And so I didn't end up actually looking at that much at all. But the person who was doing the web page graphics was actually in the Zoom call also and had their web page as the Zoom feed. So we could see what web pages they were browsing to. We couldn't see if it was on air or not, but we could see what web pages they were browsing to, which was kind of neat. At $9,000, they should at least allow you to choose the color you want. If I do end up going to them to buy one, I will ask them to color it white instead. Also worth looking at Sierra's routers. They're robust and not quite as expensive. I will take a look. It is, yeah. The main thing that I care about at this point is just I don't want them to sound like a rocket ship with a fan that's so loud. And the Blackmagic ones do have a loud fan, and I actually swapped out the fan in this 20x20 to one that is significantly quieter. It is not silent. I think that is the loudest fan on my desk, but I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it in the microphone. It's really the only thing in this room that's making a lot of noise right now, and it's not terrible, but it's definitely some amount of noise. Go for 64. You will fill them. I probably would at some point fill the 64. See, I just started listing out all the different things that I would be plugging into it. And it's like, the list is, let me copy this to somewhere I can share it. The list is long. And this is just like stuff that's in my studio now, not to mention like what I could do if I had the ability to connect more things. So I split it into sources and destinations. So like, here's the SDI sources, right? I've got Stream Bridge, I've got the Magewell one, I've got the Ultra Studio, Hyperdeck, my original Hyperdeck, the new Hyperdeck HD. It also has a monitor out over SDI, so it's got like the status, which is cool. And I've got the TV studio there, and I've got the web presenter. But then I've also got all these HDMI sources, and I've got like, you know, my Mac's 2 screens. I've got the Chromecast, which isn't even plugged in right now. And then I've got the Extremes 2 outputs. I've got all these cameras, things that I throw in every now and then. And then all the monitors or like destinations. So I've got, you know, my 2 SmartView Duo. That's the, where's my desk? The 2 SmartViews over here. I've got the 2 computer monitors. I've got the 8 inputs into the ATEM. I've got the 8 inputs into this TV studio. If I wanted to switch the Ultra Studio into a capture card, or, you know, the Hyperdeck recorders, the web presenter, all these different things, that just adds up so fast and ends up eating up a lot of inputs and outputs. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I could fill 64. Blackmagic has a 12G 40x40, so spend the money now to bypass the non-standard 6G they sell for less. Yeah, now I'm not sure 64 is sufficient. If you went with a 64 port device, how would you manage that many more cables? I don't know how. I do not know. That's also, yeah, so that's the thing. The Matrix costs $9,000, and then I need 64 cables. Actually, twice that, because it's 64 ins and outs. So I would need 128 cables. And the cables start adding up when you're buying that many. Because even if you're buying like $10 cables, it's like $1,000 in cables. So, not to mention all the HDMI converters for all the things that I would need to convert to SDI. This is an expensive hobby, let me just say that. I mean, not a hobby, IRS. I do make money from this, so it is officially a business. Have you estimated the replacement value for whole studio? I do not want to think about that, no. Nope. Oh, this is Aaron, who was doing the switching or the web pages on the stream yesterday. was fun pulling up those web pages yesterday. A unique experience for sure. Cool. I actually don't really know who was doing what or like what roles and responsibilities each person had, but were you only doing the web page? Was that like the only role you had, or were you doing other things also? I actually like, we didn't do like a pre-show thing with the staff, so it was interesting just to jump in. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Why stop there? 288 by 288. Yeah. Matrix of the cloud would be cool. 40 SDI by 40 SRT. That would be cool. Oh, Graham, here's half a cable. Thanks. I will add it to the fund. Thanks. I appreciate the super chat. Oh, Aaron says it was all I was doing, calling out on comms, let them know what was going on. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I should try that at some point, of like having somebody for this stream manage my sort of graphics of just like pulling up web pages I'm talking about and feeding it into one of my inputs that I could switch to, right? That'd be really cool. That'd be a lot of fun. Cool. Hopefully his insurance covers possible theft or damage by natural disasters. I do have insurance. I've just estimated roughly what I needed for it, and it's fine. Oh, Rick, thank you for the super chat. The other half of Graham's cable. Fantastic. I actually do need to go buy SDI cables because I just ran out of them, and I was like, why don't I have any more of the... I really like the slim ones that are like the super thin, so they're not just all big and bulky, and I do need to buy more, so thank you. I will I will go do that. Oh, speaking of other things that I have been thinking about buying, I decided that it is time for me to try out the Sony ZV-E10. So that is, I did in fact order that last week. It is still like brand new, barely shipping. It was not in stock in most stores. I found a place where it was in stock. Let me grab a link so I get this for the bookmarks, for the archives. But yeah, the Sony ZV-E10. So not here yet. It is coming, I think it's coming Tuesday, and I am very excited to try it out. I think it is going to be a nice cross between my ZV-1, which is this this one is my ZV-1 with the super nice autofocus. Failing me now. Super nice autofocus. Oh my god. Did I put it into manual mode? Maybe it's just too... Oh, I was too close. I forgot I zoomed in. But yeah, anyway, good autofocus on this poor little camera, and terrible battery life. These are the tiny batteries, so I end up having to swap the batteries out a lot. But the ZV-E10 is the like the guts of the A6400 in a smaller body and with more of the features of the ZV-1. So I'm optimistic that it will be a good one for what I need it for. And it comes in white, so I got it in white. So I'm very excited about that. I think more camera manufacturers need to create their cameras in white. At some point, you need to build your own SDI cables. That is true. Only if I can get the slim SDI, slim coax cable. Because I do not want the big fat stuff lying around. What super slim HDMI do I use? I did link to it from the stand webpage, but let me see if I can find the link again. It should be in battery. That battery just died again. Speaking of the stands, where is it? Here it is. So yeah, and this one, that cable, these are my favorite HDMI cables. I think they're Monoprice, but the link is on this page somewhere. Somewhere, I swear. Here it is, Monoprice. These are the short ones. So the slim, Monoprice slim HDMI cable. And I do like those a lot. So that is, I've got pretty much only slim cables in here just because otherwise it just is a total mess to deal with. Is there a dummy battery for the ZV-E10? So it uses the same battery as the A6400. So I already have that dummy battery, although I guess it's technically occupied. That's that camera, the overhead camera. And the, so it's the same battery. So I'm gonna need to get another one of those, but the, yeah, should work fine. And then I can actually power it longer. And I didn't actually double check. I hope it has the little slot for the tail to come out. What will you use the new camera for? I'm mostly just curious about it, but it may take the place of my little side camera. Here, I'm hoping the battery lasts more than like the 25 minutes this one seems to last. If I also am planning on using it for travel, so I was originally going to be traveling today, in fact, but the for travel, I'm thinking I might take the two Sonys then, the ZV-E10 and the ZV-1, and use that for streams when I'm remote somewhere, because they're both pretty small and the good autofocus is nice. What is the lens mount? It uses the Sony E-mount lenses. So again, same lenses as the A6400. And I'm assuming I'm gonna never use the kit lens that comes with it. I bought it anyway. They do sell it without the kit lens, but it was only $100 for the kit lens, and I was like, I should probably just have it, even though I'm probably never gonna use it. But it is the little, tiny pancake lens, and the but I'm probably gonna end up using like the 16mm, which is that big chunky lens, but it's very good. That lens is fantastic. I ordered 3 RX Zeros and pre-ordered 2 XF605s. I don't know what the XF605 is. That's like that's a camera. That is a camera. That looks great. Also very expensive, but that's awesome. The RX Zeros, you will probably enjoy them because they are nice and small, and they can be powered over USB, and they can be powered, and they do clean HDMI out and all that stuff. Very small little things. I can show you what it looks like if I can get this camera back. Then, yeah. I have mine sort of clamped to this little arm. They're tiny. They're like GoPro size, but they're way better quality than GoPros. And one of the nice things about them being so small is that they, because they're so small, you don't need large arms for them. So this is just like a tiny arm that probably wouldn't hold up the GH5S very well, but it holds up this just fine. And I'm powering it over a USB because the battery on this is even smaller than the ZV-1. But yeah, these things are great. I like these. But yeah, no autofocus, or no continuous autofocus. It can do, if you press the button halfway down, you can kind of see it's doing the little pulsing autofocus up there. It'll do the autofocus that way, and it'll lock it, and it doesn't do the continuous. So that is the one downside of those. Already got in the RX Zeros, so tiny. Going to bring them up to a go-kart and live stream from a mobile battery. Oh, cool. Okay. Very good use case. They're also like, they've done, I've seen people do tests where they run them over with cars, and that case on them is like, it's metal. So it is super, super solid. Special project for a client, might do a video on it. You should absolutely do a video on it, and then come back and when you're done, and I will make sure I link to that video. Is it possible to share your wish list on your website that can be reference for others as well, maybe? Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. Yeah, I've got links to like stuff that I have in the studio and the different combos of stuff on my kit.co page, which is a lot of fun. But this one is like my travel camera bag. This is where I talk about, I think I made this right after I went to LA. But this is, the ZV-1 and the DJI Pocket 2, which is, I still like that camera a lot. Insta360 has been a lot of fun doing the 360 videos. Rode Wireless Go 2, solid microphone, very portable for travel. This little router, which is the one that this one has Ethernet ports and Wi-Fi. Several Ethernet ports, which is nice. Oh, it's got the LTE modem in it, which is cool. Had this battery for ages. This LED panel has been great also. This, it is like, it's got a big battery in it, so it lasts a long time. And then this is the fixing the problems of the ZV-1, because that, you can't tell, but the tripod screw for the ZV-1 is right there, so you can't open the battery flap, which is really annoying. So this fixes that. You absolutely need this if you plan on using the ZV-1 with a battery or with a tripod and expect to be able to change the battery or access the SD card. But yeah, then I got like the other little random collections of gear. But maybe I can make one of these that is a wish list, things that I am considering buying. I do like that idea. Awesome. Will share when done. Excellent. I ordered my PK1 Extreme with a Stream Deck attachment. Any suggestions for a case to house it all? Ooh, gosh. No, it's pretty large once you start getting all these things set up. Like it's a chunk. I don't know. Like I said when I made these, I don't consider this. I consider this something that you put in a studio. It's like it's for a desk. It lives here, and I haven't ever tried to pack it up and move it somewhere. Again, mostly because what I'm doing is living in this room, because that is just how I have to do my job now. And so yeah, that's how I've been thinking about it. So I haven't really looked for cases, but I would imagine there's some Pelican case big enough for it if you really wanted to. I ordered 2 PK1 stands to go with the project. Can't wait to get them in. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you. Oh, this is a tricky one. What's the best price per value mobile hotspot plan for live streaming? It varies extremely by country. That is what I've found. So almost nothing that I say will apply to anybody outside the US about this. And let me see if I even have my... I somehow forgot to link to my cell phone plan in that travel camera bag clip, but here is my referral code for Mint Mobile, which is this is the plan that I use for my cell phone, my personal phone, and it is they have some interesting plans on it, but it is in my opinion, a very good deal for the US. It is probably atrocious looking prices for anybody outside the US, but this is what we get. And I'm actually on this plan. I don't recommend getting the unlimited because after 35 gigs, they cap you to lower speeds. But on this one, you get 15 gigs of fast data. So, and if you prepay for the year, it ends up being extremely affordable. And they don't care about, you can tether on all their plans. So you can, oh, that's what it was. The tethering on the unlimited plan drops down. I think it's your normal, I think your phone gets to stay at fast speeds, but oh no, it's not even that it slows down. It's after, you only get 5 gigs of tethering on the unlimited one. That's why I didn't do the unlimited. I did the 15 gigs because you get 15 gigs of tethering. After 15 gigs, your data speeds drop to basically useless, but you get 15 full gigs of tethering, which is nice. I've been using them for a couple of years. It's great. I do appreciate not having a contract and essentially prepaying for that, and it's been working well. But yeah, not gonna apply outside of the US. We use IoT global SIM cards with true unlimited data, so no fair use policies with a daily cap. Cool. When I'm traveling, I actually use like a eSIM on my phone, which is handy too. Harbor Freight sells an Apache 4800 that is a great, less expensive alternative to Pelican. Cool. I don't have a lot of experience with those cases. Question, did your new Hyperdeck Studio HD Plus arrive? It did. It finally did get here last week, and I've been using it a little bit. And this is on my secondary rack, and it is right down here. So it's this one. This one's the HD, or no, I can't position that camera right. The one down below it is the HD Mini. Oh, thanks, Jim, for the super chat towards a bigger matrix. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's gonna be a project if I ever do that. But thanks for the super chat. I do appreciate it. But yeah, the new Hyperdeck Studio HD Plus, this one, and so far I've been happy. Nothing has really been surprising about it, which is, I guess, what you want out of these things, is working as expected. This is playing my little test clip in there right now. But I do like I feel like the search thing works really well. It has these different modes for like scrolling between things. So in this mode, it'll skip 1 second at a time. You can see it's going back and forth, like back by 1 second every time I sort of do the jog. Why is this not focusing on the screen? And then if you go into this mode, it'll play back at different speeds. So you can play back at half speed, 3/4, full speed, 2 speed, 3, 4, and then you can slow it back down by scrolling the other way, which is kind of cool. Or you can go in reverse. So, oh, thanks, Keith. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, cool little thing. And then, oh, in this mode, it lets you scrub frame by frame, and good for like finding exactly where in the clip you want to start from or something. Then you can play. It's cool. I like it. It works really well. Ali says, we give Telly 2 an inordinate amount of money for LTE, again, globally usable. Yeah, I don't really have an interest in sending telecom inordinate amounts of money. We get Finnish Telia Dot, which is unlimited data, max €1 per day, minimum €5 per month. Oh, that's cool. Okay, interesting way to do it. Yep. Oh, I missed a question earlier. Do you know of any way to bring your chat plugin to eCamm as a transparent overlay? Does eCamm do web browser sources? That's the question, because the way the plugin works now is you can bring it in as a web browser source, and I don't remember if eCamm has a web browser source feature. I kind of think it doesn't. Let me check. Let's see. New features in eCamm. Oh, it's using my web presenter as the or ATEM as the video. So, gosh, I don't remember. Overlays? Is it a? This is embarrassing. Oh, it does. Okay, look at this. Cool. Widgets are transparent web pages designed to be overlaid on a live stream. They typically include dynamic content such as alerts and chat messages. Fantastic. So we can do this. If I go to my chat plugin, let me see if I can do that really quick. It should work. So if I go over to my extension, I have to turn it on because I've turned mine off for testing. Turn on the extension, and then if I go to my pop-out chat URL, let's see if this works. Pop out chat. Okay, so I'm actually changing my extension around a little bit more too, so there'll be an update soon. But get overlay URL, and then you copy this and bring this into eCamm as, let's see, we'll call this chat, widget URL, add widget overlay. I wish I could use a different camera. I don't have another capture card. Okay, so sorry for the tunnel vision. I don't have another webcam for it. So there should be an overlay on this. And then if I go to this window, yes, but it comes in with a black background. It looks like it's working. So you do have to go into my extension and change a setting. So here is the, ooh, do we get an option to choose the like settings of this browser window? Because it's not the right size. That's one of the problems here. Let me switch this so it's less confusing. There we go. I'll get rid of the countdown, chat, settings, options. Yeah, so we have to go 1920, 1080, fill entire frame. Let's set this to 30 frames per second, save. That looks a little better. Where's my window? Where did it go? Okay. There it is. That's looking right. Cool. So that is correct. What you have to do in order to make that work is you go into the extension settings. So if you go in here and scroll down, this is not the best place to find this, but this is just how Chrome extension settings work. Extension options. Come on. Oh, this is the wrong one. That's the right one. Extension options. You have to change the background color here. I think I defaulted it to black. Otherwise, if it's transparent, then it looks white, which is also wrong for the other use case. But if you set that to transparent, the word transparent, then when you bring it into eCamm, it will overlay it properly. That's the trick. That is the trick. And then, yeah, it works. So let's see. Let's go back to too many windows open. Okay. Oh, Jack asks, what is the advantage of recording with the Hyperdeck instead of SSD with the ATEM Mini Pro? The main advantage would be if you want to record the ProRes format. So because the ATEM Mini Pro will record the H.264. If you send it to Hyperdeck High, it'll record a very good quality H.264, which is honestly probably fine for most things. But if you do want the even better quality, like ProRes file, then yeah, that's why you would do the Hyperdeck. Speaking of the Hyperdeck, am I going to try the instant replay using the Hyperdeck? Oh my god, I cannot believe how long this stream has been going. Sure, let's try it. So what I want to do is record some of me talking and then try to play it back. This is going to be a total experiment because I've never actually tried this. So if I show you the deck, this is the program feed. So like it's got the chat overlays in it too. Why is this just really not in focus? Let's see. There we go. So it's showing you whatever's on the web presenter is showing up here. If I hit record, it'll start recording this stream, and then I can like hide the message and cut back to my camera, and that's still being recorded. And then if I wanted to do a replay, I don't even know what I can do. It's like an interesting replay, but you know, we can go and look at the desk. We can go look at the super source or look at my stream deck buttons. Cut back here. if I wanted to do a replay of that, now I would need to stop the recording and then find the position of it and then cue it to playback. So let's see if we can pull that off. This is, let's see, let's try this layout. Okay, what's going on? That's because the Hyperdeck is still recording. So the top window is the Hyperdeck. Do I have a loose cable? That's no good. Well, at least we stopped recording. Switch it into playback mode. And you can see it's playing back that file. You can also, the one down here is live. The one on the top is the playback. So if I wanted to cue it and find a spot to start at, I would go, hit search, maybe go into this one, which skips ahead a second at a time, find the spot in the video, and then I don't have mine set to auto start. So I'm just gonna carefully time it, right? I would switch to that input, and I can turn on auto follow video, for example, so you get the audio too. So I'll actually cut to input 6, which will be the playback from this, and hit go. I'll just hit go like a second before. And then this is the replay. So this is now me talking over the replay. Or look at my Stream Deck buttons. You're seeing cut back here a second ago, and then I can cut back to live. And then the trick here is that because I'm using only one Hyperdeck, I can't record and play. So this is now in playback mode so that I can queue up the right spot, right? So I can go find the right spot that I want to start the playback from, but now I'm not recording the show. So I think in order to do this practically, you would basically need 2 of them. You would need one that you use for, you would need 2 recording at all times. That way, if you stopped one of them, the other one is still recording. And then you can just have to kind of manage which one's doing which job, which sounds like a challenge, but it works. It's definitely not like a purpose-built solution for it. I'm also you could probably automate some of that with some companion buttons. So I could see doing, for example, a button that would stop recording, load that clip, scroll to 30 seconds before the end, and then play and cut the ATEM all in one button press, right? I don't know how often you would need to do an instant replay of a fixed amount of time, or if you even knew what amount of time back you wanted it to do, but that theoretically would be doable. Now I'm trying to think, should I go do that? Should I make that companion button? Is that interesting? I should be able to do it with my other Hyperdeck also. The little baby one. Oh yeah, I don't even think you would need the plus for that, because I don't need key fill out of that. Sports use 7 to 10 fixed usually. Okay, maybe we should try that. So let's do this. Let's go make a replay button in my companion. So I'll make this button do a replay, and we'll start. Oh, do I have my Hyperdeck in here? Hyperdeck. I only have one, so that's the wrong one. So I need to go add a new Hyperdeck. And what is my Hyperdeck Plus? What is the IP address of this thing? It is over here. Oh, I didn't give it a good IP yet. 10.11.45.105. Okay. Model, they may not have support built in yet. So hopefully this one works with the other one. Okay. Save that. Is that on? Okay, it thinks it's connected. Great. So let's go make a button for replay. And first thing that's going to do is stop recording. Then we're going to, ooh, how do we load the right clip? If we just hit play, is it going to play the right clip? Go to clip N. We don't know how many there will be. We don't know the name. So I think we're going to have to switch into play mode and cross our fingers it loads the right clip, and then stop playback. So we'll delay that by like 5 milliseconds. Let's see if this is going to work. And then we're going to go, can we scroll back? Can I do slow-mo playback? It can, yeah. So see how we can set the playback speed? So let's just set it to like 50%. And then we'll go Hyperdeck. We have to go scroll back 7 seconds. So how do we do that? Go to the end. And then can we rewind? Jog backwards timecode duration. So we're going to go back 7 seconds and then play. Oh no, I've been doing the wrong Hyperdeck this whole time. Delete. Or she could change the instance. Okay, so I need to go to plus, play that, set at 50% speed. And then we're going to stop after a little bit to be able to go to the end of the clip, and then rewind, backwards jog, 7 seconds, and then we're going to play 50%. And what do we want it to do at the end? Well, we know it's 7 seconds long, so we'll have it stop at the end. That'll make it stop at the end. And then we're going to, oh, we need to add our cut. So we're going to go switch to program is Hyperdeck, and that's going to go right here. We'll start those at the same time. Cut to the program, cut over the Hyperdeck, wait 7 seconds, and then cut back to, I guess, main camera. So that'll be 7,000. 7 seconds. Should we see if this works? How are we going to see if this works? We are going to, I'm going to turn back on audio follows video on input 6. Oh, continue recording. Great point. So after the 7 seconds, then we're going to record. We're going to delay that. Let's just give it a little bit after that cut. Okay. I checked relative delays here, so each of these is stacking the little 10 milliseconds. Oh, time delays morph in slow-mo. Thank you, Clifford. I need to double that because we're playing it back at half speed. Okay. So, right, we're playing back at half speed, and I have no idea what it's going to do to the audio. We'll find out. So, 7 seconds, huh? Okay, so I need to get, I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna cue my record. Okay, something is wrong with the cable. The cable is loose. I think it's because I used a cheapo cable. Where is it? Which is the right one? Okay. Ow, that's the one. This is why I need the back of my desk always exposed. So these are the cables that I like. These are the little slim ones. New ones I just bought because I ran out. So we are going to, what are people doing in the chat? Great. So we're going to try this. I'm going to go connect this back with hopefully a better cable instead of one of my old cables. Okay. Is that working? Yes, it is working. So I now have, that's the output of the Hyperdeck, which is program. So just double check. Yeah, so there's the chat showing up there. That's being recorded into the Hyperdeck. So we can start this recording. And this is what I would be doing. This would be like the normal where our show is live. And then we're gonna make it jump back 7 seconds and play back in slow-mo. So with any luck, it should work. How are we going to do this? It's gonna actually cut to that. So you're gonna see it live. You're not gonna be able to see the behind the scenes version like I would normally like to be able to do. You're just gonna see it happen. Maybe I will leave it on the view of the Hyperdeck so that you can see the timecode jump back in the stream. So here is the stream, and I'm gonna hit the button for replay and see if all of our actions worked. And here we go. Sorry. That's what happens with a feedback loop. How can I show this to you? Oh no. It did stop recording. That was it playing a tiny clip stuck in a feedback loop. Let's try this without the audio. So if I hit replay, what's it gonna do? It's gonna do stop. I should see it stop. Okay, here we go. Problem is it's not stopping. Oh, weird. What? I think it's just not recognizing my commands. That's what's happening. I have to use the other Hyperdeck for it, I think. What I should have done is test one command just to see if it would work. Hyperdeck plus stop. Yeah, it's not recognizing it. That's the problem. So what ended up happening is I cut to the live. Here, I'll show you what happens. You'll see it. You'll see a little bit of motion freeze frame because it's sending the program feed back into the ATEM. So basically, it did not work at all because the Hyperdeck did not recognize the commands the companion was sending, probably because it doesn't have support for this new model yet. But we can see if it's going to work on the other Hyperdeck. So let me go add my other Hyperdeck, which is down here. It is the one lower on the table. This one down here. So somewhere in here, I get the IP address of it. And okay, 10, 11, 223. I gave that one a good IP address. So add a Hyperdeck. This is going to be Hyperdeck HD Mini. This is 10, 11, 222.3. We'll see if it recognizes the Hyperdeck Mini's commands. If not, this is not going to work because the other one is not connected in the right spot anymore. Hyperdeck Plus. So we're going to give this a stop command to the Hyperdeck HD Mini. And then I'm going to go and set this one to record. So we're going to set that one into record. What is it recording? Probably my main camera. That's fine. So this is just recording my main camera, not the program. Does it recognize the stop command? It does. Okay, progress. That means we can redo that for the Mini. So maybe do normal speed playback and then slow-mo first. That wasn't the problem because it just wasn't recognizing any commands. All or nothing. I like it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it again. So let's try this again. Okay, we have to redo this Hyperdeck replay button for the other Hyperdeck. I wish I could change what instance it was sending this command to, but I can't, so I have to re-add all these commands. Let's go bottom to top. Is that going to be easiest so we can see them? So we're going to do record on the Hyperdeck HD Mini. That's going to be 50, and then I can get rid of that one. Then we're going to do, oh, wait, that one stays. Now we need the play, so we need the HD Mini play, and that goes up here and set to 50% and single clip, and we can get rid of the plus. Okay. Now we need, oh good, that one stays. We need jog backwards 7 seconds. So we need to search for the jog on the HD Mini, jog backwards, and this goes up there, HD Mini, delay 10, Hyperdeck Plus. Get rid of the Hyperdeck Plus. Now we need a Hyperdeck Plus go to end, or Hyperdeck HD. Go to HD Mini, go to the end, give that a delay, drag it up here. Get rid of the Hyperdeck Plus. Okay, and then we need a stop, a play, and a stop. Actually, I'm curious. If I just hit play, is it going to switch modes? That would save a command. So if this one's recording, and if I just press play, nope, okay. So I do need to stop, play, stop, and that switches back into playback mode. That's what we're trying to do. So I need to go and recreate the stop on the HD Mini, play on the HD Mini, and another stop on the HD Mini. Those all get some delay after them. I don't know how much we're going to need. This is going to be an experiment. Okay, we'll set that playback to 1 so it doesn't actually play anything, and then drag this into the right spot. What did I just drag? Oh no, I dragged the wrong thing. I dragged the wrong thing. Where did that go? Oh my gosh. And now my computer is confused. My computer is so confused. All the apps are like, we're so excited that you are changing the sizes of all your windows. Okay, let's quit eCamm. We don't need that. Back to this. Hyperdeck Mini, stop. Please go into the right spot. Hyperdeck Mini, stop. Great. Get rid of the Hyperdeck Plus, stop. Now we need the Hyperdeck Mini play. Next. Get rid of the Hyperdeck Plus play. Now we need another Hyperdeck Mini stop. Okay. And here, so let's work on the delays. Stop immediately. Wait 50 milliseconds. That's just switching it into playback mode. We don't actually want to play any of that, so immediately we're going to hit the stop button again. Now there's an, extra stop. Get rid of that. Go to the end of the clip. Go back 7 seconds. Play at 50%. set program input. This is the one missing. That was the one that got out of order. Set the program input to the Hyperdeck. Wait 14 seconds for it to finish the 7 seconds half speed, and then go back into record mode. Okay, that's good. So next up is I need to reconfigure my SDI matrix, because we are doing, so we've got, if you look at my multi-view, the Hyperdeck is the wrong Hyperdeck, so I need to reroute that. So I need to go and do, in my SDI matrix, input 6 is going to go to this is the one, Hyperdeck HD Mini. Yes, okay. So now the multi-view shows my camera. I need to change the Hyperdeck Mini's input no. Yes, Hyperdeck, no, top right. Hyperdeck Mini input, not main camera. It needs to be the web presenter program. So when I do that, we should see the multi-view show up in input 6. Cool, okay, that worked. So I rerouted things, and now we're good. Get rid of the multi-view, go back to this camera. Now you're seeing the program feed there. I don't care about that one anymore. And whatever is on the web presenter is now also down here. So let's get ready to go to roll on this. Let me just get this one out of that so that we don't get confused. Here, I'll play this clip just so that it doesn't look like it's part of the show. Okay, here we go. We're gonna record. That is recording the show, and we are ready to go. And do I dare bring in audio? We're not gonna bring in audio. We're not gonna bring audio from that because I don't want to cause a feedback loop again, and in case something goes wrong. Also, it's gonna be 50% speed anyway. So you should be able to see the time code here and here. And when I hit the replay button, that's what's going to sort of be the indication that you're looking at the history. Okay. Are we ready to try this? Cross your fingers. We're going to go 7 seconds back in time, play back in half speed. Here we go. Oh, that's not good. Oh, it did work. Okay, we got to fix our delays. It is playing back in 50%. And we should see it cut back to me in a second, right? Didn't I cut back to me right before we went live? Oh, that was it. That was the 14 seconds, and we're back live again. Okay. That was probably extremely confusing to watch because I am not playing a sport. The sport I am playing is configure companion buttons. But let's fine-tune that because it did actually work. And you should have heard me talk in real time the whole time, regardless of what you were seeing. Did that make sense at all? Is there anything I can do that's going to demonstrate this better? Maybe I should do like configure companion buttons could be a new esport. Keith says, this is why I love your live stream because you're all in. Yeah, okay. Let's tweak the delays because that's what's missing. Is the problem is the delays are a little bit off. It takes time for the Hyperdeck to switch into the different modes. So what we can do is we can do some testing and let's see, try out different options. So I am going to go back to this view. No, this view. And yes, okay. So right now the Hyperdeck, what you're seeing in the top right is the black bar on the left side of the picture. This is that problem with my converters. You're right, you're totally right. So the where is this one coming from? It's coming from the camera. For some reason, some of these converters add this black bar. So if I just unplug the HDMI and plug it back in, it resets. Okay. So the bottom left, bottom right, that is a live camera. That is this camera live. so you can see the Hyperdeck itself. The top right is the Hyperdeck's output. So if I stop recording, for example, and actually like switch into playback mode, that's playing back from the Hyperdeck. So thanks. Good pause. Route your camera to the HD Mini, but send the Hyperdeck camera into the program and program to the Hyperdeck. Route your camera to the HD Mini instead of the program, and then send the Hyperdeck camera into the program and program. Wait, it'll be fine. Okay. So you are looking at Hyperdeck player up in the top, real camera on the bottom. What I want to test is how long does it take to switch into record and playback mode, because that's what we need to add for the delays. So if I'm recording, and then if I hit stop, that looked like it was pretty much instant. Switching to playback mode requires about 3 seconds. That's the key. So let's go back into Companion and change. So we're going to hit stop. It's pretty much instant. We hit play. We need to wait almost 3 seconds before we hit stop again. So let's do that. Let's add a 3-second pause there. So we hit stop, hit play, switches into playback mode. It takes a couple of seconds to load the clip. Fine. Once it's loaded the clip, we're going to hit stop, and then we're going to tell it to navigate to the end, go back 7 seconds, and play. And only after that, we're seeing the playback. So this should work. Cross your fingers. Maybe a delay of switching the video to cut up, to cover up the beginning of the replay. Yeah, the problem was that we switched the video before it was fully in playback mode. We switched the program before it was in playback mode. So hopefully with the new delay here, that should help it. And you shouldn't see any, you should no longer see a black screen as part of the stream. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a whole series of camera cuts in 7 seconds, and then we should see those series of camera cuts play back. So if I do, for example, if I show you the Stream Deck, I show you the ZV-1, I show you the overhead, I show you my desk. We can even go back to the table camera. Oh, I hit a button. Show the desk, show myself, and then we hit replay. And, oh, I wasn't recording. That would help. Let's try this with the recording running. Okay, reset. Recording, it's rolling, great. We're on air. We have this one just playing back a clip. What just happened? I think button pressed itself. Okay, we're gonna cut to the Stream Deck, cut to the ZV-1, cut to the overhead, camera 4, camera 3, and back to 1, and that should be about 7 seconds. Let's hit replay. I see it switching modes, and now we should see it cut, and it's doing the replay at half speed. I'm still talking to you real time because I didn't switch over the audio, but this is now playing back the replay. There's no motion in these shots. Oh, there we go. That you can actually tell it's at half speed, and there we are back live. That was pretty seamless. And I need to add another pause. So if we look at the thing, it did not start recording because it took a couple of seconds to switch back into record mode. So at the end of the macro, we hit play. It stopped itself at the end of the clip, and then this record happened too soon, I guess. I need to add some more time. Add some more time here. Oh, I need to press it twice. Because that one, it did switch into record mode, but it's not recording. That's what it is. Because I can see it's if you look at it, it is showing the current program. It's just not actually recording it. So we need to hit Hyperdeck HD Mini record again. We'll give it a little delay. Well done. It worked. Thanks, everybody. A lap of honor around the studio now. Yes. Do a countdown on the playback. Oh, that'd be interesting. An overlay that says replay would be a good idea. I can do that. So let's do that. Let's make it, where can I do that? I can do it on, I'm not using any of the keyers on the extreme right now. So downstream keys are free. Okay, so I can use a downstream key for this. So let's go make a graphic that says replay. It's not going to be animated. We would have to use another Hyperdeck for that. But we can, I was wondering what was going to be in my Photoshop. I'll explain what that is later. We can make a graphic for the downstream key. So for this, we're going to do, the reason I'm using Photoshop is because I can push it directly to the ATEM that way. Make a transparent background. Let's make a little, what do you want? Like a little banner at the bottom? I do kind of wish it could be animated, but I would need to use my other Hyperdeck for that and create motion graphics, which is just a bigger project. So let's just type in the word replay and what's like an icon? Is it like the rewind icon? Is there like an emoji for that? Can I do emojis in Photoshop? No. Whatever, good enough. You get the idea. Okay. Push this to switch your media pool. That is the correct one. Replay, pre-multiply alpha, slot 8. And then I go into the here, and here is the graphic. So we're going to drag that into media player 1, and then media player downstream key 1, pre-multiplied. If I bring this on air, yeah. So basically what we need to do now is go into the, we're just going to assume it's there. So in the replay action, we need to just turn on the downstream key. This is ATEM Extreme set key on air key 1. That will be right before, yeah, okay, so we set the input to the Hyperdeck, and then we don't delay, and it will then turn the key on air, and then we need to turn the key off air. Key, downstream key set on air, set it to off, and that goes right after we switch the program back to the main camera. It will then take the key off. If I was using my key for other things, I would be able to say ATEM, what is it called? Extreme, there's the media, where is it? Media player set source. Okay, so we can set it to replay. We'll do that at the beginning of the clip, just to make sure we load our graphic in. All right, here we go. Are we ready? And then we should see it record again too. So we're gonna go hit record on the Hyperdeck. That little one is recording. I want this angle slightly different. Okay, so we've got the Hyperdeck recording, and we're going to, this is live, and we should see the replay overlay now. And again, I'm still gonna be talking to you live as this is happening. So it turns out looking at still shots wasn't terribly interesting. So instead, I'm going to only show this view, and maybe I can show this view because I can move in that, and then we'll see the replay of those two shots. So we should see, when I switch to the replay, we should see some movement that is in slow motion from the last 7 seconds. Here we go, instant replay coming in a couple of seconds. You can see it pause recording, switch into playback mode. Here's the replay. You can see the timestamps are moving in half speed, and I'm switching back and forth. I'm moving in slow motion, and it should, I don't really know when it's going to be done. That's the only problem. I can't tell when it's going to go back to normal speed. But hey, it worked, and it cut back. So I wasn't looking super closely. Were there any glitches? Were there any black frames? I think it worked, but I forgot to look closely for the little gaps. Let me know how it worked. I think it worked pretty well. Bravo, nicely done. Testing Companion to its limits, absolutely. Always risky to open photo video software on air. It worked. Smooth as heck. Cool. Okay, that's great to hear. That is a instant replay, 7-second instant replay button. Now I just need to keep everything wired up to have that ready for me. Great. I'm glad that worked. Thanks for all the feedback, everybody. Seemed flawless. Cool. Okay. Glad to hear it. Well, that was a fun little demo. That was like a half-hour demo. Gosh, sorry for the false starts at the beginning too. I have to make sure I timestamp those so people know to skip over it. But once we got it all wired up right, that looked like it worked. And the good news is that was with the Hyperdeck HD Mini, so the cheap one. The least expensive one. The Hyperdeck HD Mini is the tiny one. That's the one I was using for that. $500 because I don't need the key fill output. I just need it to be able to record and playback. Again, of course, as soon as I hit the replay button, it stops recording the program, which means this is just a replay box. So if I want to actually record the program I was streaming, I would need something else recording the actual downstream. But of course I'm not recording its slow-mo playback, which I guess is fine, and then it switches back to recording the show again. This will not be usable due to the long switch time from the record to playback. Yeah, I can see that for in some cases you need the immediate switch, but I feel like it would be fine for some things. I don't know. But yeah, if you're talking about like sports where you only have 10 seconds before they're going to start the next thing, you kind of have to add in the extra 3 seconds that it takes to switch over. But yeah, I could see it being useful for some things. Otherwise, you're going to need to go and get a better solution, which I don't know what those solutions are, but I would imagine they're very expensive. Do share what you just did. Yeah, we can go through it again. Does it work again after ending the replay with a new recording? Great question. This is still recording, so if I hit replay, we should see it in 3 seconds. Switch back to the replay, and there it goes. Oh, right, my replay text is underneath my chat overlay, so the chat is actually live. There we go. Now that that's the recording from the chat message on the stream. 14 seconds later, and we're live again. It's pretty good. If you had 2 of these to replay, run them in A/B, swapping back and forth might cover the gaps in the recording. Yeah, absolutely. The problem with using only one is that if anything happens on any of the other cameras while the recording is being played back, I don't have it. So that's what I'm losing by only having one. Although obviously if you're recording the program out, then you aren't able to replay things from other cameras. So you would probably want to do this on camera sources. So if I switch to the Hyperdeck to not recording the program, but recording just my camera, then you could even have that on multiple cameras and be able to replay back any of the individual camera feeds. The playback time doesn't seem to be 14 seconds long. It could be that I didn't calculate the delays right. So let's walk through these steps again. So first it loads a replay graphic into the media player, tells the Hyperdeck to stop recording. It then waits a short amount of time, hits the play button, which switches the Hyperdeck into playback mode. We don't actually want to play. It takes a couple of seconds to switch into playback mode, which is one of the downsides of using the Hyperdecks for this. So we wait 3 seconds, then we hit stop, which stops it from playing. Great. Then we want to go to the end of that clip. The good news is that when you switch it into playback mode, it does load the current clip that it was just recorded. So it goes to the end of the clip, goes back 7 seconds, and then it hits the play button at 50%. So it plays back at half speed. Single clip playback means that it will stop at the end of the clip, otherwise it would keep going on to the next clip, which there isn't any, so it may end up going back to the first clip on the SD card or something, so we don't want that. Then, once it's playing, we want it to switch the program to playback so that you're seeing the Hyperdeck and bring that replay key on air. Then, wait 14 seconds. So this is... There should be exactly 14 seconds between... I did check relative delays. Yes. So there should be exactly 14 seconds between the cuts of the ATEM. I'm trying to think if I have something I could time it with. I guess I could use an iPhone timer. And then we are going to cut back, remove the key, and then switch back into record mode, which takes 2 button presses to go back into record mode. So that looks right. The question is, can I time that? And we can see if it works. So I'm gonna hit start on this, and then I'm gonna hit the replay button. So starting, and then we should see, I'm gonna hit, let's see, I'll wait till it hits 10. We'll go back 7 seconds. Here we go. 10, it's stopping, it's switching modes, it takes 3 seconds. It's gonna do the replay. It did start from 3. And then when is it gonna come back? It should stop at 10, right? 7, 8, 9, oh, it's half speed, 10, and we're back. And that was 28. Oh man. Oh, I switched back to my camera instead of the other angle. Shoot, we didn't quite get that test. Well, you can look at the recording and see if it was 14 seconds. Cool. What codec am I recording in the Hyperdeck? That is, I think it's set to ProRes right now. Let me see if that is true. Yes, it is in fact set to ProRes from the SDI input, and ProRes defaults. You can super refine it and make a short video on it. I absolutely could. Oh, here's a good question. Can the replay files be accessed later? Yes, because they are on the SD card. So they're now in chunks, right? So if you look at what's on the card, where's my focus? Focus on that one down there, please. Okay. So if we look at what's on the card, there's, let's go into playback mode. Here's something, here's, where is it? Why is it not navigating to the other clips? It's just going, there's only one clip. What's going on? That's 19 seconds long. What is this? Oh, funny. It's my, I think this is a, what in the world? How is it playing that clip? This is my other little test clip from, that I was looping the playback on, and for some reason it's only wanting to play back that clip. I think it's a frame rate question about what frame rates are on the card. Weird. Oh, there they are. Okay, now it found them. Oh. Why does it do that? It thought there was only one clip on the card. It thought there was only that clip. And then now that I've inserted the card again, it knows there's more. That's interesting. So anyway, here's all the clips that I've recorded. So if I did want to play back one of them, I can, right? Because I can just go and like cut to that, which is playing back that from earlier. And that's what we're at now. Or I can go play back this one and cut to that and play back other clips from past times during the stream. Or switch to recording now, and now we're live again. So yes. Okay, so good. The real systems would be Data Video Instant Replay HDR10, which is $1,300 plus a controller for XXX dollars, okay, or the newly announced Roll P20 HD for $3,000. It is an instant replay device, so it looks like that. And cool. So we've got inputs, outputs, audio, LAN. It looks like it's got controllers on it. It's got SD card, record and replay at the same time. Good. So it's definitely made for this. But built-in preview monitor. I mean, yeah, this is like the real thing. That's great, but that is a lot more expensive than the $500. So if you don't mind the 3-second delay and the lack of ability to record while you're also playing back or having to add a second one, then you can use this. Fun little exercise though. Definitely fun little exercise. All right. Do I have anybody left in the stream? It looks like we do have some people still here. Thank you for hanging in throughout all of this. And that was fun. Fun little diversion. And yeah. Have you tested the H.264 codec for live playback? I would imagine, I haven't tried it, but like we should be able to try it really quick. I do want to get a new SD card because it's not going to like it if I am mixing and matching. So do I have a blank SD card within arm's reach? Let's find out. So here's one. Let's see if there's anything on it. I hope not. Or I hope if there is, I can delete it. Untitled. Any videos on this? There is one video. Do I need it? Nope. Great. Okay. So let's pop that new one in because we don't want to mix frame rates on the same card. And then we can switch this thing into H.264 mode. So if I go into the codec, this one is not in a good spot for the camera, sorry. So I'll switch it into H.264 high. It's resetting. I can see on the screen it like did a little sequence of resetting itself. And now we can record that. So if I record, it looks like it's going. And I think everything should just work. So let's try it. Move my hands around a lot so we get something happening in the replay. And I'll hit the replay button, and then in 3 seconds, it should cut over to the replay. There's the replay. Looks like 7 seconds ago was right before the cut. It's playing back in slow motion. And this is the H.264 quality, which seems fine, as far as I can tell. Cool. The delay is not much. I agree. I think for a lot of things, it's probably not a problem. But yeah, if you're going to be in like the high pressure sports environments where every millisecond matters, then yeah. Today's live became very long. I even had time to eat a meal in the meantime. Speaking of, it's now lunchtime here. 103 of us are still here. I am so glad. Thank you for being here and just trying stuff out with me. That was fun. From Thailand, also still here. Wonderful. This has been an awesome stream. Thank you. And thanks for the question, Keith. That was fun. Blackmagic should really pay you by letting you have your hands on all the machines you want on loan so that you can demonstrate what they can do for free. that would be fun. At the very least, I definitely can ask them for more stuff on loan. So let me know if there is more stuff you would like me to test out, because I'm pretty sure they'd be happy to send me more things out on loan. Especially if I'm trying random things. They may not appreciate the live unplanned demos as much, but I can do that because this is my channel. Your diversions are always educational. Thank you. Well, we always learn something. Even if it doesn't go to plan, we at least then learn how to troubleshoot it and how to fix it. So I have the Roland, or the, was it the Roland HDR? No. Data Video HDR10 just got today. The boss for my sports cam upgraded to that Roland, so I got, oh, nice. Okay. I guess the Roland one is the brand new one, huh? Many sports or other things are okay. Handball, on the other hand, is instantly resumed, so it usually barely has the 7 seconds. Oh, that's a good point. Depends on whether the game is going to come back quickly after something you want to show. That's a great point. Companion is not yet compatible with the Hyperdeck HD Plus yet. Apparently not the version I have, and I did just install this build. I feel like it was just last week, so I guess it's not in there yet. But they are pretty quick to add this stuff. You're very entertaining. Thank you for making my day. Thank you. The clip recorded in Hyperdeck will be of different lengths than the replay clip. Yes, the recording in the Hyperdeck is everything up until you hit replay. So it's not just the 7 seconds that were replayed. It's whatever happens to be have been recorded, however long that was until you hit the replay button. So if you want to go and like if you're trying to edit something later and go back, if you wanted to find out what were all your clips that you used in the replays, you would go to you would find every clip and pull out the last 7 seconds of it, because that's what you replayed. I just realized this didn't resume recording properly, so I think I might need to add slight more delay to that last button press. Anyway. Ka-ching, money saved. I mean, $500 is definitely a lot less than the, what was it, $3,000. If you can handle the little delay. Has Blackmagic pulled out of NAB? I haven't heard yet. I know, what was it? Sony, Canon, and Panasonic all pulled out, unfortunately. So that's a real bummer. But I haven't heard of Blackmagic pulling out yet. I'm hoping they stay. They're one of the big ones. So I hope they do stay, because it would be a big loss to the expo hall if they do pull out, because they have a huge spot on the floor. I'm hoping they stick with it, and because I'm currently planning on going. I have a ticket, I have a flight, I have a hotel booked. It's all refundable in case everything blows up and doesn't make sense to go anymore. But hopefully I can make it there. Thanks, Keith. Great show. Okay, I think we're about done. We've been going way longer than I normally go, so that was fun. Was there anything else I wanted to cover? Nope. I guess we'll save the other thing for next time, because too late now. With that, do remember that this is the last week to get your pre-orders in for the stands. So if you are thinking about getting an ATEM Mini stand, pre-orders end on the 15th, and that's when they start shipping. You will start getting them in the mail if you've already ordered one. And the custom nameplates are currently free thanks to YOLObox during this pre-order period until the 15th, and then they will be available at the normal price, which I don't know what it is yet. So definitely get your order in if you are curious. And there isn't a way to get the nameplates on the original stands, unfortunately. I didn't plan ahead far enough, so that's one of the reasons I did the second version in the first place. That and the clips. Are they shipping worldwide? They are shipping worldwide. So what I recommend is checking the different options of what the shipping costs will be from each of the stores, or get it from your closest. I will say though, sometimes the US stores have more expensive shipping to like South America or Canada for some bizarre reason. So do check the shipping rates across all the different options. But generally, if you buy from the closest one, that's going to be the best bet. All right. And what a stream. What a stream. That was fun. Thanks for the great show and demonstration to the replay. It's always worth it to be on your streams. That was, you know, sometimes I think I should plan my live experiments better like that, but it worked. It worked fine. We made a few mistakes. We recovered. I had to go rewire something on the back because I was using a old cable that I should just now apparently throw out, and we got through it. So thank you all for sticking with it. Thank you for all the super chats. I do appreciate it. Thank you everybody for joining. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for sticking around this whole time, this whole stream. It's been a long one. I apologize to anybody who's trying to rewatch this later for how long this one is. But hey, it's fun, and everybody who is here gets to have fun and hang out. So thanks again. Thanks for all the super chats. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and it does help fund my cable purchasing and things like that. So that is where that goes. It goes right back into the channel so I can get more stuff in here to try out on the stream, like the Hyperdeck, for example. So hopefully we will be back. We should be back next week. No plans otherwise, and we will, who knows what we're going to do then. With that, I will see you all later. Thanks so much. Goodbye.